Sir Dr. Mukul Sangma.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Do you want to be dull? No one should be dull, so everybody should play. Here I open.
Thank you, sir.
Today, if we look at our whole system of education, I'm tempted to say that today, the students, the children, have been able to defeat our whole academic system. Children have been able to defeat the whole system of education and examination system. When children get 100 upon 100, what does it indicate? It indicates that they are having the kind of appetite that you can actually put them bigger and bigger challenges. That reflects the limit to which they can be stretched in as far as competition is concerned. Therefore, it will always be a challenge for the management, the members of the teaching fraternity to conceptualize and design the courses of studies. How we enable our children to keep pace with the whole evolution of the whole process of education and learning across the globe. Today it is indeed the whole desire of the parents were to fulfill the dreams of their children and send them to St. Anthony's College, St. Edmund's College, St. Mary's College, Lady King College, Shillong College. But what happened? What happened? This whole opportunity of taking advantage of Shillong being the desired destination for education was not really taken advantage of to the extent that we could have done. To make Meghalaya a destination, Meghalaya a hub for education. That was when after getting an opportunity and the privilege to be in the government, we wanted to make Meghalaya a pioneer in the field of education in as far as the government policies are concerned, to create an opening. And I must remind each one of us present here today that Meghalaya was the pioneer in fulfilling its responsibility of legislation in establishing self-financed private universities. I don't know how many of our friends do still remember it. And the first time, I was then the Deputy Chief Minister looking after the Department of Education. Then the first time when we introduced this proposed legislation to enable self-financed private university in the state of Meghalaya, the moment we passed this bill and after the bill was assented by the Honorable Governor, and after this act was given shape, there were 3 new self-financed private universities established in Meghalaya. They started the initiatives to establish self-financed private university fully mandated by legislation, fully mandated by an act passed by the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly. That was a time when immediately after this passing of this act, there were all those different organizations who were engaged in various philanthropic activities, various institutions, various societies and public trust, private trust, family trust, who looked at Meghalaya as a destination to get the same type of support through legislation and establish self-financed private universities. That was a time when universities like Amity started lining up to come to Meghalaya. Even the Don Bosco University, I was just whispering to Father Jimber, even the Don Bosco University Guwahati was supposed to be established in Meghalaya. Because after we enacted those laws for 3 self-financed universities, numbers after numbers, management of various institutions from across the country looked at Meghalaya as the destination, because we paved the way as a pioneer in the whole country. Now one may say, oh my God, is it true? Meghalaya, the first state to create this enabling environment for self-financed private universities? Please remember that all other universities across the countries were deemed to be universities. Deemed to be universities. So that was the scenario, but Meghalaya showed the way. Then immediately, of course, Don Bosco University, Guwahati, why they could not establish here is because by then I was no longer minister. I had to resign. I resigned in 2005. Musa will remember. Okay, he was also an MLA then. So I resigned. After my resignation, just a short period of time, things went, haywire, and then all those people who looked at Meghalaya as a destination had to make a U-turn because of not having an environment which is referred to by all of us as ease of doing business. In governance, if we want to have partners, if we want to have friends who would like to look at this domain where our strength lies, we need to create that enabling environment in governance, the ease of doing business, to get good people, to get the best of the people from across the globe, and that is the mantra. So therefore, it is necessary for the society, for the community to be assertive, to be demanding, to get a kind of situation from the policymakers where the state can have its name and fame, to be able to brand the state as unique, exclusive, extraordinary, not like all other states. Otherwise, why will people look at Meghalaya as a different state? Why will we be considered as the most favored state? We must be something special, we must be extraordinary. This is exactly the same with institutions, with the schools. Now this St. Anthony's School, JENGJAL, has been exclusive and unique in itself. That's why you have more than 1,700 students now. That's why you have unending demand for courses to be added. There's a reason why we believe in you, that you can start new stream like commerce, like what we have just seen today, what we have witnessed today. My heartiest congratulations to the principal and the whole team. Congratulations. It's a big power. And therefore, why I reminded us of what we tried to do, in 2005, was to ensure that we reconnect the past, where we started. And remember that we showed the way. And Assam took the example of Meghalaya and convinced Don Bosco University to be established in Assam. It's an era of competition. The competition is not only confined to the students. The competition is not confined to only the members of the public. The competition is to be demonstrated and shown and led by example by the policymakers. As a state, if we want to be best, then it will all be determined by how the policymakers navigate through the scripted chartered path ahead. And in other words, how we script our chartered path ahead. What are the identified domains of our strengths? We must always remember that education is going to remain as one of the most important sectors as long as the human race exists. There will be more and more demand for admission to higher education. There will be more and more demand for admission to professional courses of studies. Therefore, what we have achieved today, or what we desire and aim to achieve today, must go beyond what we are planning today. Father Jimber